Bayangin, kamu datang ke pom bensin seperti biasa. Niatnya cuma isi penuh, lanjut kerja, hidup normal. Tapi saat lihat angka di layar, kamu langsung diam. Bukan karena tangkinya penuh, tapi karena harganya bikin otak ikut kosong. Hari ini, itu bukan sekadar kejadian 1-2 orang. Ini terjadi di berbagai belahan dunia. Harga BBM global melonjak hingga 24%. Dan dampaknya, lebih dari sekadar mahal. Ini mulai mengubah cara hidup manusia. Di Amerika Serikat, negara yang selama ini identik dengan kemakmuran, situasinya mulai terasa tidak nyaman. Di California, harga bensin bahkan menyentuh lebih dari $8 per galon. Kalau dirupiahkan, itu bisa tembus sekitar Rp125.000 untuk 1 galon. Reaksi warga campuran antara bingung, kesal, dan tidak percaya.
He started this. He's the one who should be paying for it, but it doesn't come out of his pocket, it comes out of our pocket.
$8. Oh my. $8.39 for Supreme, and that is real. Literally, look at that. That is real, folks. Right here, $8. California gas prices, bro. I have never seen anything like that before.
They weren't lying, guys. It's real. People out here taking pictures, they don't even believe it. $8. $8.21. You might as well get you a horse. Feed is me.
As a day-to-day working class man, it definitely has an impact on my family life, not being able to afford as much. I mean, I'm 25 years old and I can hardly afford to own a house.
I don't understand. What happened to gas prices? 2 weeks ago, gas was $2, and today gas is $4. You guys, did gasoline go to college and come back with a master's degree in pricing? What is going on here? Look at gas prices.
Kedengarannya seperti bercanda, tapi di balik itu ada rasa frustrasi yang nyata. Karena bagi banyak orang, kendaraan bukan gaya hidup, tapi kebutuhan. Dan ketika bensin jadi mahal, yang ikut berat bukan cuma perjalanan, tapi juga kehidupan sehari-hari.
Bro, what you doing? It go right there.
Bro,
it's
got
not
$6, bro. Yeah,
bro.
They could pick that shit up.
Now I am not paying $9 motherfucking for gasoline. No way.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Oh, by the way, it's 4:45.
Well, I can't lie to you. This gas is getting crazy in Georgia, bro.
Good Lord.
Fuck you, Donald Trump. Fuck you, Donald Trump. Fuck you, Benjamin Netanyahu. Fuck you, the city.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
Not gonna play with me, bro, because I'm not gonna play. And I don't got nothing to lose. I don't got no family, nigga. I don't got no kids, nigga. I don't got nothing, nigga.
Alright, bro. You can slow down. You can slow down.
Bergeser ke Filipina, situasinya bahkan lebih serius. Negara ini sampai menetapkan status darurat energi nasional. Cadangan BBM mereka disebut-sebut tinggal cukup untuk sekitar 45 hari. Di Manila, pemandangan berubah drastis. Ribuan orang berjalan kaki ke tempat kerja. Bukan karena ingin hidup sehat, tapi karena transportasi umum makin mahal dan terbatas, jalanan yang biasanya dipenuhi kendaraan, sekarang dipenuhi manusia. Langkah demi langkah, mereka menyesuaikan diri dengan kondisi yang tidak mereka pilih. Lalu India. Di sini, krisisnya terasa paling tegang. Antrean panjang di SPBU bukan lagi hal aneh, tapi yang terjadi kemudian jauh dari kata biasa. Dalam beberapa video yang viral, terlihat warga saling dorong, berteriak, bahkan terlibat bentrokan. Semua karena satu hal, BBM yang semakin sulit didapat. Bayangkan, setelah berjam-jam mengantre di bawah panas, ternyata kamu tidak kebagian. Di titik itu, emosi manusia diuji. Dan sayangnya, tidak semua bisa menahannya. Di media sosial, reaksi pun bermunculan. Ada yang menyindir, dulu bensin cari kita lewat promo, sekarang kita yang kejar-kejar bensin. Ada juga yang mulai khawatir lebih jauh, karena ketika BBM terganggu, bukan cuma transportasi yang kena dampaknya, tapi juga distribusi makanan, logistik, dan kebutuhan pokok lainnya. Artinya, ini bisa jadi awal dari masalah yang lebih besar. Apa yang sebenarnya terjadi? Banyak analis mengaitkan lonjakan ini dengan ketegangan geopolitik global, termasuk konflik yang melibatkan negara-negara penghasil minyak, rantai pasokan terganggu, produksi tertekan, dan akhirnya harga melambung. Yang jadi pertanyaan sekarang, sampai kapan? Krisis ini jadi pengingat keras bahwa dunia masih sangat bergantung pada bahan bakar fosil, dan ketika pasokannya terguncang, efeknya bisa terasa kemana-mana, dari Amerika ke Asia. Ceritanya sama, bensin bukan lagi sekadar kebutuhan, perlahan berubah jadi barang mewah. Dan mungkin ini saatnya kita mulai bertanya, kalau kondisi seperti ini terus berlanjut, apakah dunia benar-benar siap atau kita semua akan dipaksa beradaptasi lebih cepat dari yang kita bayangkan? Kalau menurut kamu, ini cuma krisis sementara atau tanda perubahan besar yang sedang datang?
Iran doesn't need a nuclear bomb. Its geography is already a weapon. If the Strait of Hormuz is shut down and pressure hits Bab el-Mandeb, the global economy feels it instantly. These aren't just waterways, they're global economic choke points. Hormuz is only 21 miles wide, yet nearly 30% of the world's oil passes through it. Around 20 million barrels per day, plus LNG supplies that power Europe. That means fuel for cars, flights, factories, everything. Dense tanker traffic turns ships into easy targets for missiles and drones. History proves it. In the 1980s tanker war, and again in 2019, even limited attacks sent oil prices soaring. Now the second pressure point, Bab el-Mandeb. It controls access to the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. Nearly 30% of global container trade passes through it. In 2023, attacks cut shipping traffic by almost 70%, forcing reroutes around Africa. Weeks of delay, massive costs. Now imagine both closing together. Oil prices explode, inflation surges, global trade slows. That is Iran's real leverage. If Iran is attacked, the consequences won't stay regional. They will be global. Iran already closed the Strait of Hormuz. Now they're threatening to close the world's other critical oil route. Here's what happens if both are blocked at the same time. The second route is called the Bab el-Mandeb, a narrow 18-mile waterway between Yemen and Africa. Every ship traveling between Asia and Europe passes through it to reach the Suez Canal. Iran doesn't control it directly, but the Houthis in Yemen do, and the Houthis answer to Iran. Iran has already warned, if the U.S. makes another move, the Bab el-Mandeb is next. So what happens if both close? The Suez Canal becomes completely useless. Egypt loses its biggest source of income overnight, and every ship between Asia and Europe has one option left. Go around the entire continent of Africa, the Cape of Good Hope route. That adds 10 to 18 extra days to every single journey. The world's 3 biggest shipping companies are already rerouting vessels around Africa just in case. And here's where you feel it. Longer journeys mean higher costs. Higher costs mean more expensive products. Everything gets pricier. The Strait of Hormuz carries 20% of the world's oil. The Bab el-Mandeb carries 12% of global trade. Iran now controls one and has its hand on the other.